So today we are very excited to showcase 3 winners of our Accelerate event. Accelerate is a civic pitch competition for individuals with big ideas to make a difference in our community. The winners receive $5,000 to help jumpstart their ideas and support them over the years to grow their projects. We have been hosting this event annually since 2015 and have seen so many great ideas pitch and launch through Accelerate. Today, we're going to hear from our winners on what the experience meant for them and what they've done with their ideas since their time with Accelerate. First, we'll hear from Matt Fieldman, who was our very first winner in 2015 for his idea, Cleveland Codes, in the economic development category. Matt's pitch was for an intensive coding academy specifically designed to train low-income adults for careers in software development. The program is run by Tri-C and now has 106 graduates from 11 cohorts, with a strong representation of women and people of color joining Cleveland's high-tech workforce as a direct result of graduating from Cleveland Codes. He is the executive director of America Works and is a graduate of our Cleveland Bridge Builders class of 2012. Next, then, we'll have Carson Baldwin, who is a senior at University School. Carson won Accelerate in 2019 as a sophomore, along with his friend Israel, for a program called Respè. Respè is a Haitian greeting of welcome meaning honor and respect, and the name of the cross-cultural buddy program that is helping Cleveland students build mutually transformative friendships. Pairing refugee and immigrant students at the International Newcomers Academy with American-born high schoolers, Respè has a meaningful, multifaceted impact on the lives of students and families and helps make Cleveland a more welcoming city for all. And then we'll have Joanne Smith, who was an education finalist in 2017 for her program, Getting Our Babies to College, and then won just last year in 2020 for 1,000 Ties in the social change category. The 1,000 Ties organization works with young men in Cuyahoga County to help them develop skills they can use for a lifetime. The mentoring program and workshops connected youth and everyday professionals in an effort to break the cycle of generational poverty. I am excited to have them share their projects and all they have done since their Accelerate experience. So first, please welcome Matt Fieldman.
Hi, everyone. So nice to be here today. We'll be showing some pictures of the Cleveland Code students, but their faces and they're amazing. Let them tell the story. But I can tell you what happened after January 2015. So very much Cleveland Codes exist because of Accelerate and the publicity that went along with it. So in the 48 hours after winning, I was on the radio and TV and whatnot, and I got about 50 emails from potential students and instructors. And one of the instructors was from Tri-C and said, hey, we have a great new dean of IT here named Monique Humphrey. You should meet her and see if there's a possibility of bringing this to Tri-C. So very much it became about building a team. And Monique Humphrey, Mark Holliday, Seth Pinkney, and Tandika Cox were just an amazing team that came together to make this happen and took the idea to reality. So what does the program look like today? So it took a full year to get off the ground. It launched January 2016. We're on cohort number 11. Since cohort 9, it's been entirely online. 14 weeks. It comes with a laptop. It comes with 4 sessions with career services, scholarships. So the program is completely run by Tri-C, but it's very much aligned with the vision, which was give more people access to careers in high tech. And we're averaging about 10 students per cohort, 117 participants, 106 graduates. Graduates leave with any one of 4 different certifications: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, database fundamentals, software development fundamentals, if that interests you. The stories are amazing. We had a student named Yvonne who had a master's in computer science, but had just never gotten her shot. She had never been accepted for a job in computer science. But with that coding certificate that she left Cleveland Codes with, she got her first job. We've had music teachers, security guards, food service. We also had a student who was legally blind who passed his exams. His instructor read the exams to him, and that was really inspiring. We've also had a handful of folks re-entering from prison who were able to, pursue their passion for coding and go through the program and find jobs in high tech. the program's not without its challenges, and if you want to ask about them, we can talk about them in Q&A. But you build the plane as you fly it. Is very much the mantra of social enterprise work, and so that's what we've done. And we have tremendous opportunities to grow. So eventually, it'd be great to have 2 cohorts going simultaneously. Right now, we're doing about 2 cohorts a year, but if we could do a 3rd or even a fourth cohort, that would be great. The other opportunity is to take what Cleveland Codes has done and expand it nationally. Now, granted, this field of software development boot camps has really exploded since 2015, 2016, and there are now lots of coding boot camps devoted to low-income individuals. So, in fact, Chicago, the Workforce Investment Board of Chicago heard about Cleveland Codes, reached out to us, and we gave them all sorts of different things from our curriculum to guidance as they launched Chicago Codes, which is now on their 4th or 5th cohort. I'm also really proud of the projects that have taken place. So each student group takes on a project, and that's included everything from creating an online supplies database for an animal shelter, an online risk assessment for an organization fighting infant mortality in Cleveland. We've done COVID tracking for Tri-C, and the current project is a friend of mine. He's a lawyer who's creating a database that will ease asylum applications for new immigrants. So you have to fill out why you're applying for asylum, and instead of making lawyers do all sorts of research and spend lots and lots of time writing up these country assessments, this would be one online database for that would speed that asylum application process. So if you have any connections, I couldn't end without a call to action. So if you have any connections, we're always looking for internships. We're always looking for technology coding employers who are looking for employees. And we're always interested in knowing what they're looking for. What are the credentials that they're looking for? What are the skill sets? So we can tailor Cleveland Codes specifically for them. But essentially, Cleveland Codes exists because of Accelerate. And this is for those of you who are in this next competition round, good luck. And of course, a big thank you to the Leadership Center for making it happen.
Matt, thank you so much for sharing the updates. It's amazing to see how far Cleveland Codes has come since 2015. Next, we're going to welcome Carson Baldwin.
Thank you so much, and hi everybody. So excited to be here. Thank you for having me, and I'm really encouraged to see some familiar faces. Just as a refresher, as you heard, Respè comes from a Haitian greeting of welcome, which means honor and respect, and it's also the name of a cross-cultural buddy program that I founded to help Cleveland students build mutually transformative friendships. We pair refugee and immigrant students at the International Newcomers Academy with American-born high schoolers. And our goal is to have a meaningful and multifaceted impact on the lives of students and families and help make Cleveland a more welcoming city for all. So Respè started after I volunteered at a few projects at the Thomas Jefferson International Newcomers Academy. That was my freshman year. And in my sophomore year, Respè officially launched with a pilot program between INA and University School. And that was the year that we actually won Accelerate. And like I said, the pilot program between INA and University School, I see Mr. Bridge and I think maybe even some other members of the University School community. And I'm really grateful to see you guys excited that you're here. And I'm just happy to say that University School has really been incredibly supportive from the very start of the program. And I can't say thank you enough for that. In the second year of the program, I was able to meet Ms. Hoke from Beaumont Schools, and that was actually at a Cleveland Leadership Center event. And soon after that event, we had a quick conversation, and I was able to include Beaumont in the program, which has been a huge part of Respè's success, because with University School being an all-boys school and Beaumont being an all-girls school, the second year of the program was the very first year that we were able to have male and female American-born buddies. And I think that has been crucial for the program. And in addition, some of the students from Beaumont have really stepped up in the leadership of the program and become great partners, and I'm super encouraged by that. That second year, we were also able to double the number of gatherings that we had, and it was the first year that we had data that dramatically showed accelerated English language acquisition among participating newcomers, which is really encouraging because from the first year, we were able to have we had anecdotes of the success of the program, but this was the first year that we were able to look at numbers and say, like, this program is having a meaningful impact, which is super encouraging. And that year, my first buddy, Israel Kambomba, who presented with me at Accelerate, he and I were awarded the Global Cleveland Youth Leader Award for helping make Cleveland a more welcoming city. And I see Joe Simperman on the call, and I can't see him without just giving a huge shout out to him, because there are so many reasons why Respè just wouldn't exist without his support. So thank you so much. In the third year of the program, which is where we are now, we were met with a lot of potential challenges, but we were able to turn a lot of them into opportunities. And the first that I'll mention, and of course the largest, is the coronavirus, which canceled all of our in-person events and visits. And I am happy to say, though, that we were able to adapt the program in response to the pandemic. At first, we had Duolingo competitions, so we can encourage buddies to kind of have a bit of competition on the app and be able to continue their language acquisition. We also had a couple of drive-by visits, which allowed us to continue the friendships that we started, see each other while remaining safe. And in addition, in response to the raised food insecurity due to the pandemic, we were able to facilitate some food donations, Chipotle gift card donations and distribution. We also facilitated distribution of pre-made meals and worked with some donations at INA's market days, which just this morning we're actually bringing some food over to INA. So that was really encouraging to be able to continue that work in light of the pandemic, despite everything that's going on. We were able to to keep these friendships going. And the second huge challenge that we faced in this year was Mr. Needham and Ms. Harper, who were the first teachers that I worked with, Mr. Needham from University School and Ms. Harper from the Newcomers Academy. Both of them switched schools over the summer, and they had both been huge supporters, and they really cared about the program and saw the vision behind it. So I was really encouraged when they told me that they wanted to remain involved in the program and to get their new students at Shaker Heights High School and Rhodes School of Environmental Science or Environmental Studies involved. So once again, we were able to take a potential obstacle and really turn that into an opportunity for greater impact by now involving 5 schools. And there's one more thing that I do want to share about that I'm excited to share about. But before I do that, I just wanted to take a second to brag on Israel. Like I said, Israel Kambomba was my first buddy from Respè, and he moved here from Congo just a few months before he courageously stepped on the stage at Accelerate and presented with me. And when he moved here, he only spoke French and Lingala, but he got on the stage and presented in English, and obviously did an incredible job. And now we're both seniors. He's going through the college process. He's actually been accepted into every college he's applied to so far, which I believe is 7 or 8 right now. So that's super exciting to see. I'm so proud of him and proud to be able to call him my friend. And since I started on Respè as a freshman, I've been thinking ahead to the day when I would leave for college, and I've been considering various ways to make the program sustainable. And now here we are, about 6 months away from me leaving for college, and I'm really excited to say that I've seen a lot of ways that these sustainability plans are kind of coming into shape, and I really think that we'll be able to continue the impact that the program has. It looks as if US will not only be assuming the management of Respè, but also be integrating many of the most important elements of Respè into the school's curriculum. Some students and I have been working closely with our administration and faculty, having conversations about issues of cultural humility and implicit bias, with the goal of ultimately making a university school education more culturally sensitive, historically accurate, and reflective of diverse culture and thought. And a lot of the themes behind Respè have helped shape these efforts. We have some more I's to dot and T's to cross before we can be super specific, but I'm very excited to know that the impact of the program is going to continue long after I've gone off to college. And of course, we wouldn't be where we are today without the Cleveland Leadership Center. Accelerate gave me a great community of support, a network of people who are excited to help, funding to support the program, And I think most importantly, the confidence that the program could have the impact that I dreamed it would. And for that, I'm forever grateful. So thank you so much. I'm excited to answer any questions that we have. So thank you.
Karson, thank you so much. And it is absolutely inspiring to hear all that you've continued to do, especially in light of this past year. And now I'd like to welcome Joanne Smith.
Hi, I'm Joanne Smith, and I've actually, as Rachel said, been in the program twice. So 2017, my program, Getting Our Babies to College 101, won the education category, and I had great success with that. A couple days after the competition, Eric Gordon actually contacted me, and within a month, I had contracts with CMSD and 3 or 4 other school districts. So to date, my curriculum for Getting Our Babies to College, which helps families get prepared for college, is actually in 5 school districts. It's going really, really good. 1,000 Ties actually came from me doing an event with Getting Our Babies to College. I wanted to help young men learn skills, basically how to tie a tie. And so I was doing the event, but then afterwards, it kind of felt like, okay, we worked with them one day and then we didn't see them anymore, and that kind of bothered me. So I came up with this idea of doing a 1,000 Ties etiquette program to be able to teach them multiple skills so that they can use that moving forward. So last year, I won the competition, and 2 weeks after that, COVID hit. And so all of my plans that I had in place were kind of put on the shelf. So what my plan was, I was partnered with Cleveland Public Library to actually do my curriculum in the library. So that's still happening. It's just kind of on pause right now until we can figure out how we can move forward, with the COVID situation. But in the meantime, I still wanted to do something. So what I did was I created a mentoring program. So right now we're running the first cohort of the 1,000 Ties mentoring program. The program is virtual. Each young man has their own mentor. The sessions, we meet once per month. We do 2-hour sessions. Right now we're in the middle of our STEM program, which is a partnership with Cuyahoga Community College, where the young men are learning STEM curriculum with facilitators from Tri-C, and they're really, really enjoying that part of the curriculum. And then we've had some great success when it comes to partnerships. In the summer, Clean Auto Express, which is a huge car wash that's popping up all over the state, actually reached out to me to become our nonprofit sponsor. So they send us quarterly checks from the profits from their tile buyback program. So if you go to the Clean Auto Express on Mayfield and purchase one of their tiles, all of the proceeds actually go to the mentoring program for the young men. This past summer, when COVID was, so bad, I still wanted to do some more work. It's important to me to give back, and I teach that to the young men. So I came up with the hygiene kit. So a part of our curriculum is teaching youth proper hygiene and grooming. So I came up with hygiene kits, and I partnered with my good friend, Felton Thomas at the Cleveland Public Library. And so he allowed me to set up at a few of his libraries, and we gave out 500 hygiene kits. And that was actually funded by Neighborhood Connections and MyCom. We have recently received funding from the Cleveland Foundation, and we're partnering with Cleveland Schools this time, and we're going to give out 2,000 hygiene kits. And so I'll actually be putting the flyers out for that this week. Will be March 25th at Wade Park Elementary, and April 9th will be at Garrett Morgan, and it's free to the community. We're going to give out 2,000 kits. So it's almost, since we can't have the 1,000 Ties event this year, this is our way to still be able to do something in the community. So all of my vendors that are usually at the 1,000 Ties event, they're actually going to come out, and we're going to set up and have like a vendor resource drive-through. So families can come up and get all of the free items. I have Pregnant with Possibilities that's coming to give out diapers. I have a lot of different great organizations. The food bank will give out free lunches. So we're going to do some great things. I just received a huge sponsorship from Amazon. She randomly called me out of the blue. She heard about the program, and I asked me, just candidly, like what would help me. I told her 5,000, and she gave me way more than 5,000. So I'm so excited about what we can do with the boys. We're going to take them for horseback riding lessons next month, and we're also taking them on a zoo scavenger hunt. So we have a lot of different things planned. for the young men, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to get the etiquette program going with the library. But in the meantime, the school districts have actually been booking the etiquette program. So teaching the young men dining etiquette, well, actually all of them, not just boys. So dining etiquette, social and emotional etiquette. So the curriculum is actually in school districts for right now. And I also wrote a book. And so 10% of the proceeds from my book is actually donated to the 1000 Ties organization. And I tell people all the time, Cleveland Leadership Center changed my life. I would have never pursued my work the way I have without them. They opened the doors, they created opportunities. And I get so many contacts from people saying that they've heard of my work from the Accelerate competition. And I've always, tried to get my friends to apply. I have a lot of friends that have been trying to get their work in there as well, because I think the platform itself it's just life-changing. And I'm so thankful. I literally quit my job from this. So it's just been life-changing for me. And I also want to tell the people that are in the competition this year, good luck. Tell your story, be passionate, and just believe in yourself. And even if you don't win, I didn't win my first time. So even if you don't win, there's still opportunities. The networking is priceless. It's priceless.
Joanne, thank you so much. We are just ecstatic for the work that you've been doing in the community. And now we are excited to discuss a little more and ask some questions. So we have had some questions come in, and this is going to be posed to all three of you. So as you think about the past few years with your work, what has been your biggest lesson learned from getting these projects up and off the ground? And I'm going to open it to whoever wants to jump in first.
I'll go. I think the biggest lesson for me, building relationships and maintaining relationships, that has been like the whole foundation of doing this work. People ask me all the time, how'd you get at the library to do your hygiene kits? It's all about relationships. It's been about sticking to your moral compass of what you're in this for. It's not about money or fame. It's about actually giving back and doing the work. So that to me has been like the biggest thing.
I can answer. I feel like I would second that really. I think building partnerships is a huge part of it. Just, I think what I was going to say was the biggest thing I've taken away is the importance of collaboration. And I think a lot of the thank yous I gave are a big evidence of that. I mean, so much help from University School and from Cleveland Leadership Center and Beaumont and INA, of course, and Global Cleveland. And I'm probably leaving individuals and groups out, but just people have really been eager to help. And I've been super grateful for that. And I think without having conversations, without getting ideas across, the program wouldn't be where it is today. So I would say the biggest thing is the importance of collaboration and partnership.
And I would add definitely an internal partnership too. So building a team of people that can support you. Everyone has their own weaknesses and strengths, and so finding people that have strengths that can cover your weaknesses. And also, what's great about Accelerate is if you put your idea out in the world, good things will happen. And so share your idea widely, share it with everyone. And then, don't be afraid to ask for what you want in those conversations and say, hey, I'm looking for X. And Cleveland's an amazing place. Very few places in the country are you 1 degree away from anyone you want to talk to or any company you want to talk to. And, so if you put it out there and say, hey, I'm working on X and I'm looking for Y, people will step up to the plate and help you make that happen.
So as you think about the journeys, what has been one of the biggest challenges you've had to face in bringing your idea to life, and how did you work to overcome it?
I guess I'll go first again. I would say the biggest challenge for me initially was funding. Funding was the biggest thing. Just making sure everything was in order, because getting our babies to college, I funded that with my work money. And then with 1,000 Ties initially, I funded that with getting our babies to college money. So I would say the funding, but as the brand grows, more funding is just, random people call me all the time offering money. So as the brand grows, that problem has gone away, but that definitely was the biggest.
For me, it was not being a software coder. I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into. And so figuring that out was really important as this went along. And, you know, but also knowing that my strengths were always going to be in making the connections and reaching out to my network and, you know, just having the tenacity to take this over the finish line. And so, you know, right from the very beginning, I was looking for someone to partner with on the software coding teaching side. And, you know, just knowing like, if you can identify that big gap right off the bat and say, here's what I'm looking for, you know, I was able to find it eventually.
And I think for me, I'd say, I mean, no surprise, the biggest challenge has probably just been COVID, especially with such a relationship-based program. There's no way, and I guess, yeah, to be honest, we haven't completely found ways around that. We haven't completely solved that issue, obviously. I'm not gonna be the one to do it, but I mean, we've been able to continue the relationships like I've talked about, but there's no just real substitute for face-to-face contact, and that's something we've been talking about, trying to get things going on Zoom. But I mean, we're doing everything I can. We're doing everything we can with online connections and the Duolingo challenge that we talked about. But if anyone has ideas, reach out to me. Looking for as close to a real face-to-face interaction as we can.
So we've had some individual questions come in for each of you. So to start, question, this is for Jowan. So Jowan, as a Black woman entrepreneur following in the long tradition of Madam C.J. Walker and others who look to both support and grow the Black community, what challenges do you think are unique to Black female entrepreneurs, and what unique advantages does this group have?
With challenges, I guess I could fall back to funding again. It's the funding is hard. I personally have not had a problem getting meetings. The networking has been great for me. I hate to say this, it's actually been pretty smooth for me. I mean, I've been around all of the right people at the right time. So I really have not had those problems, and everybody has been so supportive because of what the content is of my business. Is such a big need, helping people find funding for college, helping youth learn skills. So it's something that was in desperate need. So I really haven't had a lot of complications.
Great, thank you for that. This question is for Matt. So Matt, as you think about being on that stage 6 years ago for Accelerate 2015, and now seeing where Cleveland Codes is, how does that feel for you? Like, how has the past few years been, and could you imagine where things are now?
It feels great. I'd like to say that I envisioned it taking off, and you know, I kind of in my wild it really did, and my wildest dreams have come true. I was able. One of my favorite moments was standing in front of that first class on the first day and telling them that they were a dream come true, because they really were. And being there to motivate them and inspire them and say, you know, you're here because of a dream that other people bought into, and you know, your future is in your hands. And empowering people is always a really rewarding experience when you empower someone to take over their future and take ownership of their future. So, I mean, I was super nervous on the Accelerate stage 6 years ago. I probably wasn't thinking that much about the future at the time, but I thought I was onto something. You know, I think one other quick thing on this is that it was building on things I had already done. So it was building on work that I had done at Edwin's restaurant in the culinary industry. And so I think that if you can find good models and bring those models to new industries and bring those best practices and lessons learned with you, you can be very successful. So I in some ways I thought this was kind of a slam dunk, and I was really excited to get a chance to pitch it and to say it was a slam dunk, and that the audience agreed with me that night.
And then looking to Karson. So I think many of us on the call would agree that navigating high school can be a full-time job in so many ways. So how have you been able to kind of find the balance between school, your other activities, which I know are many, and also focusing on One Respè?
Well, I think it definitely has been a busy and kind of hard at times to balance things. And there have been times when I haven't handled things well, and if something does go wrong in scheduling, it oftentimes just ends up on me sacrificing sleep rather than something else. But I think in general, it's been really helpful just to be able to always have. I think everyone who I've partnered with, everyone who I've worked with, has been really understanding, and also having my parents to be able to bounce ideas off of all the time, and just talk through, like, this is what I need to get done, and this is what I need to get done today, this is what I need to get done on a larger scale this week, this month, has definitely been helpful. And there have been times when it's kind of been overwhelming with scheduling and everything, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is everyone's been really understanding, and obviously school is the least like flexible deadline wise, so always keep that in mind. And it's worked out at the end of the day, probably a lot more luck and a lot more God kind of protecting me than my scheduling skills or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely say people just being willing to work with me has been a huge part of it.
So all three of you have mentioned the importance of partnerships and collaborations. So we know that that can be really hard to get established. Can you share some of the either best practices or things that you have found to be very successful in how you approached starting those partnerships?
I guess I'm going first again. Okay, so most of my partnerships have actually, a lot of them I met at Accelerate. So what I keep in communication with a lot of my partners. We talk even when it's outside of work type of stuff, bouncing ideas off of each other. So I have great working relationships with all of my partners, president of Tri-C, director of the library. Like we talk pretty often. So we're able to discuss different things before they actually become a thing. So just keeping open communication, sending ideas to them and people referrals to them as well helps, just they help you, you help them type thing. So that's how I maintain my relationship, just communicating.
I'll mention three really quick things. First of all, just making sure there's a win-win partnership right up front, figuring out what is the win for your partner, what are they looking for, and knowing what you're looking for, and sharing that really openly and honestly, which kind of leads to the second thing, which is trust, and establishing trust. And there's even an equation for trust. If you want to Google trust equation, it is really powerful to have that kind of on your mind of how do I establish my reliability and my credibility and my self-orientation, and intimacy. Those are the kind of the four elements of trust. So building that trust right up front. And then third, having really clear roles. And my role was to engage employers in Cleveland Code. Tri-C's role was to establish the curriculum and do their admission processes and all that sort of stuff. And then very quickly, after the first couple of cohorts, I relinquished my role to Tri-C completely and let them run with it. And so, again, being really clear about who's in charge of what, because that'll reap rewards later on when everyone's on the same page.
Definitely, and I would add that I think as a high school aged leader, I guess, there's a level of respect you have to earn, because in a lot of ways, like, I know if I was an adult, and I'm looking at myself like, oh, that's a good idea, but I don't know how you're gonna make something like that happen. But I think like persistence and just making for me, making my vision for the program as clear as I could upfront with people has really been beneficial. And I think it kind of proved to people that I really had a heart for the goals behind it rather than just having an idea. And I think some of the first people who I talked with about the program were Mr. Needham and Dr. Daughtry from University School. And I think they very quickly understood the heart behind the program, and them understanding it and them buying into it was huge, and is kind of how everything started. And I think a lot of the earlier partnerships that I did build were able to introduce me to a lot of the partnerships later. So I think persistence and I guess communicating your goals clearly, I think would be the biggest thing for me, and all of that as a high school age student, all of that as a way of kind of earning people's respect.
So as each of you thinks about the work you've done with your project, what stands out as something that you are most proud of? So give you a moment to think about that. And we seem to be going Jowan, Matt, Carson, so we'll follow the same order.
I think that when I think about my work, the thing that makes me most emotional is the Thousand Ties event, like the interaction that I have with the young men. And I think I see one of my mentors on here, Mr. Carr. So just being able to see the young men grow, learn, show interest, and actually participate. I mean, it's been great. A lot of people ask, because I have 100% parent participation. And so people ask, well, how do you do that? It's about the family. My program is for boys, but it's about the family. So I always create opportunities for families. Like for Christmas, I rented a movie theater and we all went to the movies and they got to bring their siblings and everything. So having our events where I can see them and they're enjoying it and it's a safe environment and they're happy and they're smiling, like those type of things, those are the things I'm proudest of.
So I'm proudest of the careers that have been launched as a result of Cleveland Codes, and the model that it has built and follows. So the model is really simple. If you give people a vision of themselves in a better career in the future, you give them the support along the path to get there, and you give them the skills to get there, they will rise to the challenge. And that was my hypothesis. I'd seen it work at Edwin's, and that's what worked at Cleveland Codes. We've seen it now in my job at Magnet in manufacturing. Again, you have to give them a vision of themselves doing that high-skilled, high-wage job. You have to give them the skills to get there as quickly as possible, align it to what the employers want, make sure that you're training them for a job that's currently open, and give them the social support, give them that computer, give them lunch, give them transportation, give them whatever they need to get to where they need to go, where they hope to go. And that was really inspiring for me.
And I think for me, the thing that I'm most proud of is probably the relationship that Israel and I have built. I think obviously not every friendship that Respè has started has developed to the same extent that Israel and I's friendship has, and obviously that can't happen. Israel's really become one of my closest friends. I do think that's what the program, to an extent, that's what the program can do. Israel's one of the only people who I've continued seeing throughout the pandemic. I mean, obviously trying to be safe, but he's one of the only people like basically inside my bubble, if you will. And when Israel's mom got pregnant, my mom and her went shopping for, I don't even know, things that you buy when you're having a baby. I don't even know, but they're just really become close friends. And I think both of our families have really grown together. And I think that's been really encouraging, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we want for Respè, is to build friendships that can ultimately welcome a student and welcome a family and really just make like I said probably 5 times on this Zoom call, making Cleveland just more welcoming in general for everyone in the city. It's really encouraging, and and like I said, with Israel getting accepted into all of his colleges he's applied to, obviously I can't take credit for that because he's a brilliant kid, but it's just so encouraging to see. I'm really grateful to have him as a friend.
We would love to know what's next for you, and for those of us on the call, how can we support you in that work?
I'm sorry, I was reading the comments. Can you say the question again?
What's next for you, and how can we support you in that work?
Okay, well, we have our hygiene kit distribution days. If there are any organizations that have items that will be free for the families, we are welcoming more vendors. You just have to let me know so we can have this setup available. We will be social distancing. They will be outside. So we're definitely looking for more organizations that want to participate in that. I'm always looking for more male mentors. Right now we're capped at the amount of boys we can have because I don't have any more mentors to partner them with, and I want each young man to have their own mentor. So we're always looking for more mentors. And of course, you can always buy my book. 10% of the proceeds go to the 1,000 Ties organization. It's called Zakari Goes to College. It's a great resource book. And I just once again want to just thank the Accelerate competition for it. It really changed my life, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to be a resource to the community.
I have a couple of ideas that I'm pursuing, not ready for public consumption just yet, but I'll let you know when. There may be an Accelerate application next year. I'm a free agent. If anybody wants or needs advice or thoughts or totally unsolicited input, just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to advise. I really enjoyed the opportunity I've had to coach Accelerate applicants over the past few years, and I've got one that I'm rooting for this year, and we'll see.
I think for me on Respè, next steps wise, like I kind of hinted at, we can't be for sure, but we do believe Respè will be more, or the themes behind Respè will be more thoroughly involved in university school curriculum going forward, which is super encouraging. And we're working on this year having online connections between buddies, and hopefully going forward will become more and more normal. Who knows how long that'll take, but that's what we're excited about going forward. And I think how can people support? I think really just sharing about the program whenever it's appropriate in conversation, just talking about it, and then of course encouraging people to support or hire if they're business owners, or just befriend in any way possible newcomers in Cleveland. I think is the best way to support. So thank you.
And Carson, a lot of inquiring minds want to know what's next for you after university school.
So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I am excited. I was accepted early to Harvard in December, so that's most likely where I'll end up. But I'm hearing back from a couple other colleges soon, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, any college is going to be absolutely lucky to have you. And to everyone here, Joanne, Matt, Carson, thank you so much, not only for your time today, but everything you are doing to make Cleveland a better place. And we have just been so inspired to watch you and your projects grow over these past few years, and look forward to all that is to come for you.